let me get Sagari in here.
I'm all for having repealed Section 377. It was an antiquated law that the British got in 1871. And the homosexual gay community, which is a fringe community, which is a minority community, was being persecuted. So by this judgment, they are being released from a whole lot of torture that was being unleashed.
That's all.
The Supreme Court Chief Justice K.G. Balakrishnan said,
let me finish.
Rahul, sparingly used.
Don't interrupt, please. Let me finish. But that doesn't mean that the Supreme Court is pushing, and it's not the norm.
That's a very interesting point. It did not endorse homosexuality. It simply placed it within the constitutional framework and said there's a freedom available within the Constitution. But let me get some words in from the audience. You would like.
India always boasts that it has the biggest democracy of the world, and it is the most freest country of the world. And when we see the human rights list, India ranks 21st from downward. So in a free country like ours, why can't individuals be granted every right? And in our constitution, it is clearly mentioned that freedom of a person ends where the nose of another person begins.
Okay.
So why discussing on this topic?
Okay.
What Article 377 has done is, it has given you a right to the homosexual men as well. There are many couples here today in India, elsewhere around the world, who are afraid of being ostracized in the society. So they marry a girl, though they are homosexual. They marry a girl, they destroy the girl's life, and then afterwards they say, look, I am a gay man, I will not go into any physical relationship with you, so I'm just your husband.
Look, I'll just say one thing,
This is India.
that before the High Court should have gone for any judgment, this should have been debated very well throughout the country before taking the decision. And I think that would have been the only solution. Since the judgment has come, it has been taken into stride wrongly and rightly. This should be removed. I think we should again do some retrospection.
So you think the judgment should be set aside, it should be stayed?
Yeah, till the debate is done, till we come to some sort of proportionate, way, we should weigh it properly, and then we should come to some decision.
Okay.
That is my only answer.
The young lady in the green there who wanted to say something.
This is the right time we should talk about it. If we are not talking about it right now, then when we are going to talk about it? There are many people who are actually homosexual, but they are not coming out of their shells. So when we are going to support it?
The question of debate is welcome. The question is, on what basis can two people debate? Two people cannot debate on an issue and one of them is considered a criminal under the law. So this judgment is simply a right to debate. Now, what legal standing should be given to gay people in this country? Let it be debated. Let it be talked about. We're happy to go wherever. But you and I cannot have a debate if I have a law on my head and you don't. That's an unfair debate. So our only point is, if you wish to build consensus among equal citizens. That has been the right. That is what this judgment is doing.
I don't think
so
we
let's
should
keep
stop
it in
the
perspective.
debate. Right.
Don't stop the debate. But between equals. That's all. Right?
I think I'd like to tell that young man that one's sexual preferences cannot be put into a cultural debate. It's a human instinct issue. And some people choose to be celibate all their lives. Some people want marriage and a lot of sex. Some want little. Do they go out onto the street saying that this is what we do all the time? Some others have same-sex predilections. It is something they are born with. And if they're born with it and it doesn't harm others,
is there a problem?
it cannot be against Indian culture.
But is there a problem
Indian
with
culture
freedom?
Sagarika, I'd like to say, Indian culture allows tolerance. Indian culture, if you really look back,
remember that.
As long as you are not harming somebody else, it does not harm a family. If my child is homosexual, but he is decent, good, honest, loves me and I love him, there's nothing wrong with that child.
See, remember, there are two things. It's a very convenient argument to give weightage to the side of the homosexual argument, saying that all these people are criminals. And our Chief Justice K.G. Balakrishnan categorically said Section 377 has been sparingly used. Let no one forget that.
How many people do you need to be beaten up before it's enough? Tell me, what is sparingly? 100, 1,000, 10,000.
Well, the two men in black, the two men in black
Rahul, if I was the only Indian beaten under this law, that should be enough for our constitution. One harm is harm enough. Come on, don't count people.
See, we should be a tolerant, more accepting society. But let religions not decide. Let the moral policing not decide. And let the secular policing also not decide.
Well, let's take a short break at this point and come back and talk more about Indian culture, the loss of Indian culture and what this means for all of us opting for an English language education or wanting to be educated in the English language? Does this mean that we are also losing our cultural moorings? That's our